Hey there, this is Akshat Madan and welcome back to the day 14 of 30 Days Study Concepts of Flutter series. And in this part, we are going to see the forms. So forms are like they're the very important thing because whenever you are going to take input from the user, you need to define a form. You are making a login page, you are making a sign up page, you are taking information from the user. You have to define the forms because forms are only the thing that can like verify whether the user is entering the correct information. Let's say you want to define an email, then it should be like that the email should not contain the user's phone number, right? So these are kind of validations that you need to perform on the user input. That's why we need these forms, right? So we are going to see how to create a simple form. And yes, so if you are new on this channel, you can like my video, subscribe to my channel, and you can also follow me on Instagram because I create some amazing stuff on Instagram. Now without wasting more time, let's go to my VS code, and you can see that in the last part we were studying about the drop down list. If you have not watched the previous parts, make sure you watch them in the same order, right? So now I'll define one more file in this widgets folder. Now I'll define one more file in this widgets folder that will be called form.dart. Form.dart. Now in this form.dart, I will import material.dart. Or let's do one thing. Let's copy this drop down list in the form, and I'll remove this container. Let's call this drop down widget. So now I converted that drop down widget into form widget. Now let's change the text of the app bar. Let's call it form list, or let's call it form. And in the main dot dart, I'll return form widget. Yes, form widget. Now let's save it. Now in the form where it is, yes, in the form I'm returning a column right now. And in this column as children, I'm going to return a simple, first of all, let's remove this contain column also because I want the center. And in the center, I'm going to return a child, and that child will be nothing but my form. And this form takes a key, so we need to define a global key that will be called form key. Let's do it. So we will define the form key in this class. So let's remove this string orange first, and I'll call the key as final. Form key is equal to global key, and it is of type form state. Form state. Perfect. Let's put the semicolon. And in this form, I'm going to define the key as form key. Perfect. Let's just save it. And in the child, I'm going to define a column. Sorry, in the form, yes, we have to define a column. And to this column, we have to give some children. And these children will be nothing but the text fields, text form fields this time. So you have to define text form field. And in this also, you have to define some value keys, right? So for that, we need to define some strings over there. Let's say you are designing a sign up page, and in the sign up page, you take first name, last name, email, and password from the user. So you have to define string first name, and you need to define some initial value. So let's take some empty string, and you need to define last name, and let's say you take email, and let's say you take password, right? So in this text form field, you have to define some key that will be value key. And let's say the key of this is first name, right? And in the text field, you have to define some validator. Now this is the most important thing because you what you want to validate. So in the first name, you have to validate that before clicking on the sign up button, the first name should not be empty, right? This text form field should not be empty. So I'll define a value. Now in this value, if dot to string dot is empty, that means if the value is empty, then what you want to do, then you want to return first name, first name should not be empty. Perfect. Else what you want to do? Else you want to return, right? So if my value is empty, that means the user is not entering something in the first name. Then you want to return this alert message. But if the user has entered something, if the value is not empty, then you have to return nothing, right? Now we have to define on saved. Come out of this value, some come out of this validator, and then you have to define on saved. So what should happen when the user is when the everything is fine and the form is getting saved? Then you want to change the this first name. Then you want to change the state of this first name to the value that the user has entered, right? So what I will do is it will take a value, and then my first name will become this value. Save it. Value dot to string. Perfect. Let's save it. Fine. So now, as you can see, we are getting this text form field. So let's give some decoration to this text form field. So let's give decoration, then input decoration. And to this, I'll give a hint style, oh sorry, hint text. And this hint text will be text. We have to give some simple string and it will be enter first name. Let's save it. So you can see enter first name. So perfect. So you can wrap this form with a container and you can give it margin. So let's give it margin. Edge insets dot all 10. Save it. Perfect. Now we will just copy this text form field and I'll paste it 4 times for last name, email, and password. So let me just do it. And the second one, second text form field, the value key will change to last name. Last name should not be empty, and this on saved it will be assigned to last name variable. Perfect. Third text form field, the value key will be email. Email should not be empty. And yes, for the email, you can also define that value should contain at the rate sign, right? So you can do it on your own, right? For the email, it should contain the at the rate sign. And yes, so on saved, it will be assigned to email variable. And the last one is password. And for the password, what I want is I want to validate that the length of this value should be greater than 6. So the minimum password length should be 6. Dot length is less than equal to 5, then it should return last name should not password should be of length minimum 6. That means minimum length of password, minimum length of password should be 6. Perfect. Okay, then the on saved it will be assigned to password key password variable, and let me just save it. So you can see, and I need to change the hint text also. So where is my hint text? Okay, yeah, decoration hint text will be enter last name, enter the email, enter the email, and enter the password. Enter password. Perfect. Let's save it. Fine. And at the last, after this text form field, I'll define one button. So that will be called a text button. What should happen? I'll define the functions and the child it should take a simple text and the text should be called submit, right? Now over here in the class I'll define a few functions. So whenever user clicks on this submit button, what should happen? So let's do it. So I'll define comments and I'll call it functions, and the function is going to be try submit. That means try to submit the form, and if everything is fine, then what you need to do, and if anything is wrong, then what you need to do. So you need to define we need a boolean value. So final is valid, that means this is valid is going to store whether the form is validated or not. So you need to use that key where it is, yeah, form key dot current state dot validate. Perfect. So this exclamation is for the null safety, right? So this is valid is going to store whether my form is validated or not. So if it is valid, then if is valid, then I want to call some other function. So I'll call submit form function, and soon I'm going to code this function also. And else, what I need to do? Else I will print error. And now let's code this submit form function. So submit form function, and this function is going to do nothing. And in the real case, you would be like storing this information on the database, right? So that we cover in the Firebase part, right? So now I'm going to write print the first name, print the second name, sorry, the last name, print email, and print password. And let's call this try submit function whenever the user clicks on this text button. Let's save it. And now let me just increase the size of this emulator. Whenever I just click on this submit button, as you can see, first name should not be empty, last name should not be empty, email should not be empty, minimum length of password should be 6. So now let me just write my name in the first name. And if I just click on submit, you can see that error is coming on the last three text form fields. So let me just put my second, that is last name. Let me put the email, and let me use the password. And if I just put 123, password length should be 6, and you can see that I am able to see the password that should not be there. So for that, in the text form field of password, uh, where it is, yes, you have to define obscure text to be true. Save it. You can see that now I am not able to see the password. And now if I make it 456, click on submit, you can see that there is no error right now. But if I see the console, I'm not able to see the what we can say, the credentials that I have added. So what is the error? The error is we have not saved the form. So for that, if is valid, then first of all I need to save the form. So form key dot current state dot save. Yes. Now if I just write everything, yeah, if I now click on submit button, now you can see Akshit Madan, then my email and the password. Perfect. So now like this you can work with the forms, and you can store the data on your database after validating the credentials that the user has entered, right? So I hope you like this video. So till the next content, keep coding, keep innovating, and thanks a lot.